Hello everyone, this is Dr. Sunita Magre, Professor in Education, Department of Education, University of Mumbai. I am very much thankful for inviting me as a resource person for the 1-week online short-term course on continuous professional development, jointly organized by Aligarh Muslim University Center, Mallapuram and Mahatma Education Society's Pillai College of Education and Research, Chembur, Mumbai, in collaboration with UGC, HRDC, University of Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram. Today, we are going to deal with the topic self-awareness and the self-esteem. This is my lecture outline: introduction, concept of self-awareness, types of self-care, what is the self-esteem and the similar constructs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, characteristics of healthy self-esteem, pillars of self-esteem, and the tips how to increase the self-esteem. Objectives: the learner will be able to understand the concept of self-awareness, understand the types of self-care, understand the concept of self-esteem and other similar constructs, also understand the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, characteristics of healthy self-esteem person, and the pillars of self-esteem. Learning outcomes: at the end of this session, you will be able to explain the concept of self-awareness, explain the types of self-care, explain the self-esteem and other similar constructs, explain the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, explain the characteristics of healthy self-esteem person and the pillars of self-esteem. Now, what is the concept of self-awareness, or what is meant by the self-awareness? When we survive in this world, we know about ourselves. Who am I? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Which is my area? I can do the activity. Which is my interested area? And which area, in which work I am happy to do that work. So this is about the self. So what exactly it is? So let's take the definition, one of the definition. So self-awareness is having a clear perception of your personality, including your strength, your weaknesses, your thoughts, your beliefs, motivation, and the emotions. Self-awareness allows you to understand the other people, how they perceive you, your attitude, and your responses to them in the moment. As you develop self-awareness, you are able to make changes in your thoughts and interpretation you make in your mind. Changing the interpretation in your mind allows you to change your emotions. Self-awareness is one of the attributes of emotional intelligence and an important factor in achieving success. Self-awareness is the first step in creating what you want and mastering your life. Where you focus your attention, your emotions, your reactions, personality, and behavior determine where you go in your life. Having self-awareness allows you to see where your thoughts and your emotions are taking you. It allows you to take control of your emotions, your behavior, and personality, so you can make changes whatever you want. Until you are aware in the moment of your thoughts, your emotions, your words, and behavior, you will have difficulty making changes in the direction of your life. There are the 6 types of the self-care. What are that 6 types? Let's take one by one. emotional, practical, physical, mental, social, and the spiritual self-care. So, what is emotional self-care? Now, the emotional self-care, the activities that help you connect, process, and reflect on a full range of emotions. For example, writing in a journal, playing a music, creating your own art. Practical self-care takes you complete that fulfill core aspects of your life in order to prevent future stressful situations. For example, as a family member, you can create your family budget. As a professional developer, you can taking the professional development classes. Physical self-care activities you do that improve the well-being of physical health. Example, take a small walk at the time of your lunch break. Take a complete sleep, at least 6 to 8 hours is required. So this is your self-care. Do yoga. Then mental self-care, it is an activity that stimulates your mind or your intellect. Example, you can read the books if you are interested. You can solve the puzzles. You can play the chess, or you can play various games, uh, going to music, etc. Then social self-care, activities that nurtures and depends the relationship with people in your life. For example, make a small party or organize a get-together program and discuss various things. And then spiritual self-care, activities that nurtures your spirit and allows you to think bigger than yourself. Spiritual self-care does not have to be a religious, although for some it is. For example, meditation, yoga, visit the nature, dedicate your time as per your interest. What is self-esteem? So, self-esteem, I have quoted one line, that is, believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, so definitely, automatically, your self-esteem is increased. We know that believing in yourself and accepting yourself for who you are is an important factor in your success, relationship, happiness, and that self-esteem plays a very important role in your living in and flourishing your life. It provides us with belief in our abilities and the motivation to carry them out, ultimately reaching fulfillment as we navigate life with a positive outlook. Self-esteem refers to a person's overall sense of her or his values or worth. It can be considered a sort of measure of how much a person values, approves of, appreciates, prizes, likes him or herself. Then, according to the Maurice Rosenberg, he is an expert of self-esteem. Self-esteem is quite simply one's attitude toward oneself. He described it is a favorable or unfavorable attitude towards the self. Various studies have confirmed that self-esteem has a direct relationship with our overall well-being, and we would do well to keep this fact in our mind, both for ourselves and for those around us. particularly the developing children we interact with them. The various factors believed to influence our self-esteem. What are the factors? Genetics, personality, life experiences, health, age, thoughts, the reaction of others, comparing the self to others, and the social circumstances. Keep in mind, the self-esteem is not a fix, it is a measurable. Means we can test it and improve it. So what self-esteem is and how this self-esteem is differ from the other similar constructs. So what are that similar constructs? We'll take one by one. The first one is the self-esteem versus self-concept. So self-esteem is not self-concept. Although self-esteem may be a part of self-concept. Self-concept is the perception that we have of ourselves, our answers, when we ask ourselves the questions, who am I? It is knowing about one's own tendencies, own thoughts, own preferences, own habits, hobbies, own skills, and the areas of weaknesses. The awareness of who we are is our concept of ourselves. So according to the Purki, describe the self-concept as the totality of complex, organized, and dynamic system of learned beliefs, attitudes, and opinions that each person holds to be true about his or her personal experience. According to the Carl Rogers, who is the founder of client-centered therapy, self-concept is an overreaching construct that self-esteem is one of the components of it. Self-esteem and self-image. Another similar term with different meaning is a self-image. Self-image is similar to self-concept in that it is all about how you see yourself. Instead of being based on reality, it can be based on false or inaccurate thoughts about ourselves. Our self-image may be close to reality or may be far from it, but it is generally not completely in line with objective reality or with the way others perceive us. Self-esteem goes deeper than the self-image. Self-esteem is the overall sense of respect for ourselves and involves how favorably or unfavorably we feel about ourselves. Having a negative self-image can certainly influence self-esteem, and having low self-esteem is likely to be accompanied by a negative self-image. But they are at least somewhat independent self-aspect. Next one is the self-esteem and self-worth. Self-esteem is similar concept to self-worth, but with a small difference. Self-esteem is what we think, what we feel, and what we believe about ourselves. While self-worth is more global recognition that we are valuable human being worthy of the love. Self-esteem and the self-confidence. Self-esteem is not self-confidence. Self-confidence is about your trust in yourself and your ability to deal with challenges, to solve the problems, to engage successfully with the world. Self-confidence is based more on external measures of success and value than the internal measures that contribute to self-esteem. One can have high self-confidence, particularly in a certain area or field, but still lack a healthy sense of overall value or self-esteem. Self-esteem and the self-efficacy. Self-efficacy similar to self-confidence. Self-efficacy is also related to the self-esteem, but not a proxy for it. Self-efficacy refers to the belief in one's ability to succeed at certain tasks according to NET. You could have high self-efficacy when it comes to playing basketball, to playing cricket, or any other games, but low self-efficacy when it comes to succeeding physics class, mathematics class, or English class. Unlike self-esteem, self-efficacy is more specific rather than global, and it is based on external success rather than internal one. Self-esteem and self-compassion. Self-esteem is not a self-compassion. Self-compassion means how we relate to ourselves rather than how we judge or perceive others. Being self-compassionate means we are kind and forgiving to ourselves, and that we avoid being harsh or overly critical of ourselves. Self-compassion can lead us to a healthy sense of self-esteem, but it is not in and of itself self-esteem. Now, esteem in Maslow's theory. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The measure of esteem may bring to mind the fourth level of Maslow's pyramid, esteem needs. While these needs and the concept of self-esteem are certainly related, Maslow's esteem needs are more focused on external measures of esteem, such as respect, status, recognition, accomplishment, and the prestige. Let's see the original hierarchy of needs. So in this Maslow's model, there are the 5 stages and the three needs. What are the 3 needs? Basic needs. Now in the basic needs, the physiological and the safety needs are included. And in psychological needs, the belongingness and love needs, esteem needs are included in the psychological needs. And in self-fulfillment needs, it's a very high position needs, that is the self-actualization. It is included in the self-fulfillment needs. And in this hierarchy, there are the 5 stages of model: physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. So let's take the original hierarchy. According to Maslow, he stated that people are motivated to achieve certain needs, and that some needs taken precedence over them. Our most basic needs is for physical survival, and this will be the first thing that motivates our behavior. Once that level is fulfilled, the next level up is what motivates us, and so on. Now the first needs, which is known as the basic needs, the physiological needs. These are the biological requirements of human survival. For example, air, food, water, shelter, clothing, sex, sleep, etc. If these needs are not satisfied, the human body cannot function properly. Maslow considered physiological needs the most important, as all other needs become secondary until these needs are met. Second one, the safety needs, which is included in the basic needs. Once an individual physiological needs are satisfied, the needs for security and safety become salient. People want to experience order, predictability, and control in their lives. These needs can be fulfilled by the family and the society. For example, police, school, business, medical care. The safety needs are the emotional security, financial security, for example, employment and social welfare. Then law and order, freedom from fear, social stability, property, health and well-being. For example, safety against accidents and the injury. Now let us come to the third level, that is the psychological needs. So belongingness and love needs and the esteem needs. So love and belongingness needs after physiological and safety needs have been fulfilled. The third level of human needs is social and involves feeling of belongingness. The need of interpersonal relationship motivates behavior. Examples are the friendship, trust, acceptance, receiving and giving action and love, affiliating, being a part of a group means family, friends, working group, whatever it is. Then esteem needs, which is included in the psychological needs. The esteem needs are the fourth level in Maslow's hierarchy, which Maslow's classified these esteem needs into two categories. One, esteem for oneself, that is dignity, achievement, mastery, independence. And second, the desire for reputation or respect from others. For example, status and the prestige. Maslow indicates that the need for respect or reputation is most important for children and adolescents and precedes real self-esteem or dignity. And the last one, the self-fulfillment needs. It includes self-actualization. So self-actualization needs are the highest level in Maslow's hierarchy and refer to the realization of a person's potential, self-fulfillment, seeking personal growth and peak experiences. Maslow described this level as the desire to accomplish everything that one can to become the most that one can be. Individuals may pursue or focus on these needs very specifically. For example, one individual may have a strong desire to become an ideal parent. The another one, desire may be expressed economically. Another one, wanted to become academically strong. The another one express creatively. They are doing a lot of work in the arts like pictures, painting, interventions like that. So this is about the Maslow's hierarchy. Means the human beings are motivated by the hierarchy of needs. Needs are organized in a hierarchy of prepotency in which more basic needs must be more or less met prior to higher needs. The order of needs is not rigid but instead may be flexible based on the external circumstances or individual differences. Most behavior is multi-motivated, that is simultaneously determined by more than one of the basic needs. What are the characteristics of the healthy self-esteem person? The healthy self-esteem person are less critical of themselves as well as the others. They are better able to handle the stress and avoid the unhealthy side effects of the stress. They are less likely to develop an eating disorder. They are less likely to be feel worthless, guilty, and ashamed. They are more likely to be assertive about expressing and getting what they want. They are able to build a strong and honest relationship, and they are more likely to live unhealthy ones. They are more confident in their abilities to make a good decisions. They are more resilient and able to bounce back when faced with disappointment, failure, and the obstacles. Then let's take the pillars of self-esteem. Here I mention the 6 pillars of self-esteem: living consciously, self-acceptance, self-responsibility, self-assertiveness, living purposefully, personal integrity. So these are the 6 pillars of self-esteem. Let's discuss one by one. The practice of living consciously means be aware of your daily activities and relationship with others, insecure reflection, and also personal priorities. So living consciously involves being genuine. It is not involves listening and responding to others honestly and openly. It involves being in the moment. The second one, self-acceptance. The practice of self-acceptance includes become aware and accepting the best and the worst part of you and also disown parts of ourselves. Self-acceptance is the ability to love yourself unconditionally, no matter what flaws and the dregs. Third one, the self-responsibility. The practice of self-responsibility implies realizing that you are responsible for your choices and action. The moment you take responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you can change anything in your life. Fourth one, self-assertiveness. The practice of self-assertiveness involve act through your real convictions and feeling as much as possible. Assertiveness is about self-confidence, which means having a positive attitude towards yourself as well as the others. Living purposefully. The practice of living purposefully achieve personal goals that energize your existence. Living happy is a choice. Feeling optimistic is a choice. Being kind is a choice. And the choices you make today are making your tomorrows. Personal integrity. The practice of personal integrity. Don't compassionate your ideas, your beliefs, and your behaviors for a result that leads to incongruence. When your behavior are congruent with your ideas, integrity will appear. Integrity is choosing your thoughts and action based on your values rather than personal gain. Personal integrity is knowing what you know. What you know is what you know. And to have the courage to know and say what you have observed, that is integrity. How to increase the self-esteem? Check a self-esteem inventory to give yourself a baseline. It is very simple. You can writing down the 10 points about your strength and the 10 points about your weakness. And this will help you to begin developing an honest and realistic conception about yourself. Set realistic expectations. It is important to set small, reachable goals that are within your power. For example, setting an extremely high expectation or an expectation that someone else will change their behavior is virtually guaranteed to make you feel like a failure through no fault of your own. Third one, stop being a perfectionist. Acknowledge both your accomplishment as well as the mistakes. Nobody is perfect. Trying to be will only lead to disappointment. Acknowledging your accomplishment and recognizing your mistakes is the way to keep a positive outlook while learning and growing from your mistakes. Explore yourself. The importance of knowing yourself and being at peace with who you are cannot be overstated. This can take some trial and error, and you will constantly learn new things about yourself. But it's a long journey that should be undertaken with purpose and change. Be willing to adjust your self-image. We all change as we age and grow, and we must keep up with our ever-changing slaves if we want to set and achieve meaningful goals. Stop comparing yourself to the other person. Comparing ourselves to others is a trap that is extremely easy to fall into, especially today with social media and the ability to project a polished, perfected appearance. The only person you should compare yourself to is you. Hope you will enjoy the session. Let's take the summary of this session. The self-awareness allows you to understand other people, how they perceive you, your attitude, your responses to them in a moment. Emotional, practical, physical, mental, social, and spiritual are the types of self-care. Self-esteem is quite simply one's attitude towards oneself. Self-esteem is not a fixed, it is measurable, means we can test it and improve it. Maslow's esteem needs are more focused on external measures of esteem, such as respect, status, recognition, accomplishment, and prestige. Living consciously, self-acceptance, self-responsibility, self-assertiveness, living purposefully, and personal integrity are the pillars of self-esteem. Points for reflection: as a teacher educators, how will you increase self-esteem of your students? You can review the various researches. I can mention two researches, but you can review the number of the researches on self-esteem and find out the facts on self-esteem. And these are the references. So thank you very much.